Okay, the Queen was born in 1926. I think Betty White might be older than the Queen.
Okay, well, she definitely has to meet the Queen then.
Betty White was born in 1922! Betty White is older than the Queen, y'all.
Hello, and welcome to Our 3 Cents. I'm Laura.
I'm Molly.
I'm Bailey.
And we're happy you're here today.
Are we? Are we sure?
I'm happy they're wherever they are.
I am. You just didn't. I wasn't
I'm happy.
Okay.
I'm a little congested. I was the one that was sick.
That's true.
So if you hear sniffles...
If your office pool had Laura as the sick one...
You win! Go get your gold star. Yeah, I was the sick one. I had a fever last week and could not have talked for more than 5 minutes. So I didn't. Very sorry that we could not put out an episode last week. But we're back and better than we were yesterday.
Good stakes.
Probably not even true.
I mean, we're older and therefore wiser.
That we are. What are we talking about today?
Can we go to the movie corner?
Oh, yes.
Have you seen that Captain Marvel trailer?
Yes.
Have you seen that Mary Poppins trailer?
That's the one I wanted to hear.
Thank you.
I've seen Mary Poppins.
Y'all.
They're both so good.
Cried.
I know.
I love Mary Poppins.
Yes.
There are penguins involved in Mary Poppins.
Yes, there are.
And though I did love the original Mary Poppins,
mm-hmm.
and Julie Andrews
mm-hmm.
is my queen.
Mm-hmm.
Emily Blunt.
I love Emily Blunt.
Lin-Manuel Miranda.
I know.
I didn't know Meryl Streep was in it.
Neither. I don't think anybody did.
I didn't know that they were bringing Dick Van Dyke back for that role.
I didn't know he was in that role.
There was someone else.
Angela Lansbury's on the poster.
No.
She wasn't in the trailer. I didn't know that was happening.
There was somebody else in the trailer that I was just like, what?
Yeah, the cast is super
The
popular.
cast is ridiculously good, so I'm very excited.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see the original Mary Poppins, though.
What?
I'm sorry.
Wait
a
minute.
We
That's
have to cancel
the
and we're gonna
podcast.
Have you? I think it's called "Have You Seen That?" It's a podcast where they watch a movie and they comment on the movie throughout the podcast, and so you can kind of hear. It's like
I don't know if that's annoying or fun.
It's fun, from what I've heard. I've never listened.
Okay.
I think it's fun. That's what we're gonna do this time. I'm so sorry.
The last time we spoke, Molly told us she was okay with swallowing gum, and now she's telling us that she's excited for the new Mary Poppins movie
because she's never seen.
But she hadn't seen the first one. What? How do you go through your life? Why are you excited? Why do you care?
How old are you?
Yeah.
And what did you do in your childhood?
Did your house not have VHSs?
That's all my house has.
No, we did.
Literally
I
right
don't know
now.
why I never saw Mary Poppins, but I didn't.
I can mail you the VHS. I have it.
Feel free.
It might melt.
I've also
I'm not gonna do
never heard of Captain Marvel. Who is that?
I hate Molly Morrow.
I know, I've seen the trailer for it. I haven't watched it yet, but who's Captain Marvel?
It's better than not having seen Mary Poppins. I'll give her that. I will give her that.
Upset by it.
I know.
These are my
She is a superhero in the Marvel
superhero.
In the Marvel universe, Captain Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
You know. She is played by Brie Larson in the new movie coming out in 2019.
Room.
Is it
Room? I know that. But I've literally never heard of this superhero.
Well, Molly, you've also never cracked open a comic book. I didn't expect you to.
Yeah, had you heard of
anything.
But had you heard of the Black Panther before that movie got popular?
Well, no, I guess I had.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't come to you as a bastion of superhero knowledge.
Yeah, but
that's not why we
I know all the other superheroes. Besides the Black Panther, I guess I've heard of the rest of them.
Did you know Thor before Thor came out?
You didn't know
either.
these.
Yeah.
Did you know
Hawkeye before Hawkeye came?
Jump in.
Iron Man, maybe you knew.
Maybe, but only Spider-Man.
Captain America.
You guys are really undermining me.
You're undermining yourself! What are you talking about?
You're acting like I have no knowledge of superheroes.
We've asked about 3 and you've said no to 3.
I literally, as you were saying them, I was just about to say I don't know who those are.
Exactly. Do you still not know who Thor is?
Yes, I know.
Okay, fabulous. Okay, good.
I'm just saying, Captain Marvel's a comic book character. if you don't keep up with comic book news or with movie, like, making news, like, this has been announced for a while, but, like, if you don't keep up with that, I wouldn't expect you to know. And you just told me that for 3 other superheroes, you didn't know until after their movies came out.
Yeah.
So I don't think we're undermining you. I think we're
just
taking...
aghast.
Well, then you asked me if I knew who Iron Man was,
No.
Spider-Man,
We said you probably
Superman.
didn't know until they got really popular or became...
No, I'd heard of them.
Oh, well, good.
Yeah, but not the other 3 we said.
Yeah, I'd never heard
we
of
gave
the
you
other
3 and we took 3.
You know what I want?
What?
A Hulk movie.
Well, you technically have
I'm
one.
the only one.
You technically have one.
I technically have 3 garbage trash movies.
Well,
the last one was okay, but I want Mark Ruffalo to be like leading man.
Have you seen Thor Ragnarok?
I want Hulk.
I know he was in
leading man.
He was in Hulk a lot. I mean Thor a lot.
But it was not called Hulk.
Well,
was it?
I know.
There you go. Captain America got his own movie.
I know.
You're just not bitter because your superhero got movies.
I can't say that you're wrong.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's a good trailer. Go watch the trailers.
It's very good.
Very excited. I really like Brie Larson.
She's a good
She's gonna
choice.
punch an old lady and break a blockbuster.
She's a good hero.
She's good.
I started watching Game of Thrones. Do you watch Game of Thrones?
Why are we talking about this?
Laura, tell me more about how you've been watching Game of Thrones.
Giving you some current events. We haven't talked in
I
2
understand
weeks.
the superhero part, but
On
I don't understand
DVD.
the Game of Thrones part.
I'm just saying what I'd watch.
Laura, tell me about how you've been watching Game of Thrones on DVD.
Yeah, DVD in my house. I have to flip over so many DVDs. It's very good.
Molly, you get a dumb corner. Sometimes we want a pop culture corner. And by we...
I thought we were talking about superheroes
Specifically
leading
me.
to our segment about our superpowers.
Oh, that's a good... Were you doing that?
Oh, that was smart. No, I just watched the trailer today and I was excited. I wanted to talk about it.
That would have been really good.
It would have been.
When you edit
That's
it.
what I thought we were doing.
Future
That's why
Bailey,
I was...
edit it
No.
so that happens.
Oh, yeah, today I saw Mario Kart trending. And
I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk
That was a
about
bad
it.
Wait, what happened?
I don't want to... We're not talking about it on this
We're talking about
podcast.
it. What happened?
Stormy Daniels said that the...
Stormy Daniels released like a book or something about her sexual relations with Donald Trump and compared his dick to Toad on Mario Kart.
No, that makes me so fucking happy.
It's,
And I saw like an article and they were like, Trump's totally gonna talk about how his dick doesn't look like Toad.
Can we
He's,
imagine?
like he's gonna tweet about his
Is
dick.
he going to have to talk about Toad from Mario Kart, though? Because I'm more excited from that.
Let's just bring it back just a second.
To what? The
To
Betty White?
How Betty White, when she was born in 1922, and the things happening then. Just think about 1922 and what was happening in our country.
Mm-hmm. We're on
And
20s,
how
I gotcha.
they thought of 2018 as the future. And how we would have flying cars. And how we would just be so advanced.
We do,
and how
driven by Toad.
actually we have a sex worker talking about the current active president's penis as a video game character. I don't know whether they would be just horribly upset or horribly excited because of the advancements our country has made. Good God.
He is not tweeting.
All I want for Christmas in 2018 is for our president to tweet about how his dick does not look like Toad.
Great job.
I really want him to think
in
that it's an
helping
actual
with
Toad.
Florence. This is a tough.
Okay, yeah, we got nothing yet.
I'm waiting. Santa?
Remember how we had a really good segue earlier and we zoomed past
it. You know
it?
that superhero movie that's coming out?
Yeah, Captain Marvel, yeah.
Superhero movie.
Okay.
Okay, we're going to talk about our segue that we should have done earlier. Our first topic tonight is our low-key superpower. What would be a low-key... Like, how to describe a low-key superpower? It's like nothing fancy, not even that impressive, but something that you can do, or you have the ability to do, or you find yourself
like if
happening a lot around you. That's like you notice, and you're like, "That's something about me that's different."
Like I've got one that you two can back me up on. I'm really good at guessing numbers.
You are. Oh my
See?
gosh, when we play how much
Yes,
money's
Molly.
in my brother's bank account.
Oh yeah.
Bailey's usually like it takes her a while, but like she guesses
she gets
the
the
cent.
exact one.
Yeah, she can guess the cent. It's amazing.
Can you now? can you back up and can we introduce the podcast
What the
to
heck is...
guess how much money is in Molly's brother's bank account?
Also, DM us with a better name, because that's a mouthful.
Yes, it's my favorite game to play because I have access to.
Does he know this?
Yeah.
Okay, dang it.
He gets very angry whenever I bring it up.
There's something
My brother is awful at budgeting money. He has a job, at least the last time I talked to him, he did. And my parents also give him an allowance. And he manages to blow all of that in like 2 weeks. And so I don't check my bank account a lot because I don't like seeing how much money is in my bank account. But when I do, and I notice how much money's in my brother's, if it's super low, I'll text Laura and Bailey and I'll say, let's play the game. Guess how much money's in my brother's bank account. And then I say, okay, he got paid on this day and it is this day. So how much money do you think he has? Should we play it right now?
Oh, yes!
Yes, let's give him an example.
Oh my god, live game.
Because we've been playing this for years. So when I say
it's a while.
Yeah, when I say it's my low-key superpower, I mean there's like, we've gone through it for me to earn this title.
Gameplay.
Live gameplay. Yes.
Oh my god, it's like a game show.
I really hope he's not a drug dealer because I don't want to get like in trouble for this. I mean,
Oh, good. Okay, it's worth playing. I was like worried he's
good.
gonna
If it
actually
was,
have
like,
money in his
not.
account, but he doesn't. Okay.
I'm gonna say it's the 18th. I'm gonna
Molly's
say
brother.
I'm gonna go low and say $32.
127.
Laura, it's lower than Laura's.
Gosh.
See, Bailey like gives my brother
Credit
like-
where he does not deserve.
That's true. I'm too
Just
nice
start
to
off,
make my
like,
superpower
with a high number, and then
power
I'm like, no, it's way lower than that. This time it's not in the cents though. It is $1
Oh, good.
or something. So
14.
That was my turn.
67.
11.
lower.
Lower than Laura?
Yeah,
Okay, maybe it's Laura's low-key superpower.
4.
higher.
5.
729.
You're close, but it's higher.
832.
Lower.
44.
789.
Lower.
755.
Higher.
767.
Higher.
68.
777.
Lower.
Then me?
Yeah.
69.
Higher.
70.
Higher.
1.
73.
Yes.
Got it in one.
Does this right?
I think it's supposed to be wrong, but I mean,
You eventually got it. You got it before I did.
yeah.
I thought
You got
37
Laura,
was
and also
like,
Lauren usually
bad.
doesn't guess that much. Like
I
in the
don't
last
guess that
game we
much.
played,
Sorry.
Bailey guessed like 5 times before Laura finally said something, and Bailey was getting close, and I was like, wait.
Guys, I'm normally better.
Wasn't
Don't-
it like $1
just
last
trust
time?
me.
Or like
It
in the
was
cents?
like 80
It was
something
like,
cents.
yeah. It was pocket change.
Yeah, just like, I have that in my wallet.
Yeah. But that's a separate issue.
Yes.
He spent almost $700 in 11 days.
Like, I thought that I spent a lot of money.
No, Laura, you don't spend any money.
I literally don't.
You don't
Like-
spend any money, and I give money away.
Literally.
Yeah, my
God.
friends thought I would have a budgeting problem. Like, my brother has a budgeting problem.
What are y'all's superpowers?
Molly, what's your superpower?
Gaining people's trust.
That sounds like a super villain power.
It is.
Sounds correct.
Gosh, this
I
is
was-
why she's in Slytherin.
I was talking to Javen about it earlier, and as I was explaining my superpower, I was like, it's more of an evil power.
Do you
I don't
use
ever-
it for evil?
I would say I don't use it for evil.
Well, okay.
It's just like I do
Intent
have a
matters.
hidden agenda whenever I'm trying
Because
to
you
get
just
people
want
to
to
tell
be
me
able
things.
to.
Oh, so
Yeah, I
you
just want
don't,
to be able to know.
you don't use it for evil things. You just use it for synonyms of the word evil.
Right. But I
Just to be able to say, I have this power over you.
exactly. I'm really good at getting people to tell me their secrets, even though they know I can't keep them. Like,
That's
I am
a
very-
superpower in itself.
I'm
How
very
bad you
vocal
are.
about my giant mouth and that I can't keep a secret to save my life. Some I'm better at than others. Some I will at least only tell one person. Normally I tell y'all all of the secrets.
Until it's us that has secrets.
Well, I wondered, have we ever told you a secret that you've told anybody else?
Yes, I told her
Yes.
I was going to therapy.
Bailey
and she
told me.
immediately texted Grace and Kennedy. Like, I mean, like I went to the bathroom, came back and said, Hey, maybe don't tell, like, our mutual friends about this. And she said, I've already texted Grace and Katie.
That's
So,
the
yes.
mistake people make. They don't. And
Immediately.
granted, it's not going to do much. Like, I would...
Granted,
like,
I will just tell you,
I mean,
tell
within-
people and not tell you that I told people.
Like, something like mental health, I would have 100% kept a secret if Bailey had told me.
But...
What do you think therapy is? We don't go because we like new friends.
No,
So
if she had told me, if she had started this and it's like, hey, I haven't told anybody this, so don't
If I had
tell
told
anybody.
her within the 15-minute window that she told other people.
And that
You
probably
literally
would have stopped
do.
her.
Like, one of my friends one time told me a secret, and I immediately texted somebody afterwards and told them, and then 5 minutes later he texted me and said, hey, don't tell anybody. And I'm like, why didn't you start your secret with that? Like,
Too late. Do you
it's
know
bad.
me?
Like, it is bad.
When
Like,
you tell me
I will
something-
immediately tell somebody after you tell me. I do have like a 24-hour window. If I can go 24 hours without telling somebody a secret, I'll forget about it.
I wish Molly came with a disclaimer that was like, before you speak to me, either say you can tell people this or you cannot tell people this.
Molly...
One of those may or may not be listened to.
Here's the thing, though. If we look at the definition of what a secret is, it should just be assumed you don't tell anybody.
Is there a definition of a secret?
Yeah!
She's gotta look it up.
Please,
Something
please
you
look
don't
it up.
tell people.
Have I ever told you a secret that you told anybody? Anything? Told somebody?
I don't think so.
I can't think of one that I'm like, I told her.
Like, unless it's like the only reason I tell these secrets is because it's relevant to the person I'm talking to.
Because she likes gossip.
Because she...
So if it's
saying
not...
it's relevant to the person you're talking to is a really nice way to put they would be interested in this gossip. Because Grace knowing that Bailey went to therapy has no bearing on Grace's life except that now Grace knows that Bailey went to therapy.
Well, no,
A
it's
new
because
piece of
Grace and
information
Bailey
about
are
a friend.
friends, so I was like, oh, let me tell
Grace and Bailey are if that's the way you're, like, judging your
We
secret,
did
like...
talk about last week how we have no friends.
Connectivity,
So.
yeah.
some of my secret telling is very innocent, and then some of it's just like, listen to this hot gossip.
I can't tell Molly. I knew this for a while, but like I definitely can't tell Molly anything.
You're close with Grace, so
But I didn't tell Grace this fact. Did you not think, like, oh, Bailey will totally talk with Grace about this?
If she
No.
wants to.
You took that from me. I couldn't have that conversation with Grace. You
I-
robbed
Can
me.
you imagine if somebody told Molly they were gay?
Oh, gosh.
I'm trying to think if anybody's ever confided in me in that. I don't think they have. I don't think anybody has. Anybody who I've met was gay before they met me, so.
Well, most people were.
Secret.
It's not a choice, Molly.
Noun. Something that is kept or meant to be kept unknown or unseen by others. Adjective. Not known or seen or not meant to be known or seen by others.
But how do you define what a secret is?
Noun.
She wouldn't have laughed.
Something that is kept or meant to be kept unknown or unseen
What is
by
that
others.
something?
If I say, hey, it's a secret,
Yeah,
Did you say that?
or if I tell you something
she didn't say that.
secretive.
I don't know. It is situational for everybody because I tell everybody my business, so nothing is a secret for me.
What was your secret, Laura? I mean, no, what was your superpower, Laura?
I have no idea. I don't know, and I tried to think about it like last week when I brought it up. When you said your mom's, I was like, that's such a fun thing. I went home and told Sam.
Oh, yeah.
And-
My mom's superpower is diagnosing strep. She can look at anyone's throat and just know if they have strep.
It's great. When you told me about it, I was like, oh my god, that's so great. Went, like, talked to Sam about it.
Mhm.
I explained what a thing was to him.
Did he have
like,
one?
No, probably. I don't know. Don't remember. Kind of got PTSD from it. Because then he turned around and asked me what mine was, and I was like, oh, I don't know. And then from that moment, I've been trying to figure one out, and I can't.
Yours?
And it's kind of stressful.
I kind of just forgot every single fact I know about you.
Yeah, same. The
That's-
moment that it happened. Like, I know
But you're
an
good at-
abnormal fact about Disney World and Disney.
You're
in
good at
general.
like.
I can overanalyze. The
Yeah, I'm about to
cards.
say you're really good at overanalyzing.
That feels just like a normal skill, though, not like a
Yeah, that's the thing. Is that's why I
superpower.
was trying to define it earlier. It's like more than a skill.
Are you really good at, like, getting all of your purchases to be an even number?
No.
That seems like something you'd be good at.
No. And, like, things like that, it's like, I know a lot about penguins. I know...
Yeah. This is just you're smart.
Like, I was gonna say that all dogs like me, which is true, but all dogs like everyone.
I mean, that... Oh, no.
100%.
100% of your dogs hate me.
They don't hate... He doesn't hate you.
I think he does.
He just has this odd way of showing his affection to everyone. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know anything about myself at this moment.
Mine's kind of been shattered, so I'd also like another one. If we can do that.
See, what also made me think about this is somebody on the podcast that I listened to, My Favorite Murder, go listen to it, it's great. They told their low-key superpowers, and one of them was like, she can always think of like actors and actresses. Like, if you were describing somebody, like if I was trying to describe Bailey and say she looks like, she would have somebody that looked like Bailey, and it would fit perfectly. And she can also remember everybody's name. So if, like, you say, you know that person in that movie, she thinks about it. Like,
are you good at that?
No,
okay.
not really.
Okay.
And then the other person was, I think it was it sounded better, and it's easier. She made it easier to explain, but it's like she's kind of has X-ray vision. Like, she can see. She saw something in a wall one time.
She kind of has X-ray vision.
She saw, like, she looked at the wall and it had a hole in it, and she like thought there was something in there, and then they tore the wall out and there was something in there, and that's happened multiple times in her life.
Okay. So just a real superpower then.
Yeah, technically. I don't think she said she couldn't, like, actually see anything, but she, like, knew something was on the wall.
Sometimes I'm really good at catching.
Sometimes I'm really good at catching.
It's probably like a 50, like, if I get it real good. If I don't get it, though, it's real bad.
Yeah, I don't know.
Are you
I don't want to give up, but
do you have a lot of hand-eye coordination?
I mean, I have good eye candy.
You got good eye candy.
I also speak really well. I have good.
You got any, like, food, like,
I don't like vegetables.
Smell, like,
I'm not allergic to anything. Is that a superpower?
I'm not either. I've never broken a
Fuck
bone.
you, baby.
Me
neither.
We can have the same superpowers. I'd never had strep throat until 2 weeks ago.
I had mono and swine flu at the same time, and I became big.
Laura always gets 2 sicknesses at once, because you also had the flu and strep.
But I wasn't diagnosed with either of those, and it's only ever happened once before.
Well, 2 out of 2 is more than me and Molly.
No, I wasn't diagnosed this time. They said I didn't have anything. They just gave me the antibiotics just in case.
Well,
I could swallow really big pills, but I don't want that to be my superpower.
that could be it. Molly's could be swallowing gum, even though, again, that's a super villain.
Disgusting. All of Molly's superpowers are super.
Our villain. This is why you're in Slytherin. I'm glad we backed that up.
I can remember things really well.
I would say
That's
that's a superpower, being able to remember things.
You
read really fast.
That's pretty good.
Ish, sometimes.
Okay. I mean, I had my catching one. Okay. What was the one you said before that? Oh, your memory. I was going to test you. What did Molly and I use to throw into the wall in our apartment when we were playing darts? What else, though? What was the other thing? I think I have a really good memory.
Bananas?
No,
I was trying to ask you a banana question. It was a little s'mores, like pitchforks that you had.
Oh, pitchforks.
Little.
Oh, even I
skewers,
forgot about that.
Yeah.
I wasn't there doing that though. All I knew was that there was knives being thrown. I don't think we ever talked about.
Were you in the apartment whenever we did that?
No,
she came home to us doing it.
I came home. Kayla was in her room though.
But that's.
I don't think she was because we were throwing it against her wall.
Yeah, I think that she was though.
I think she may have been.
Just FYI, these two dumbasses threw knives at the wall in our apartment.
And to be fair, this dumbass hung a bullseye up on the wall.
It was the first time Bailey ever encouraged me to do something dangerous before. I was like, let's throw this at the tapestry.
They weren't drunk. They were not under the influence of fun.
Under the influence of fun.
We were just bored.
Anyways, ask me more memory things.
I'm trying to see. I feel like I'm only remembering easy stuff. What kind of dogs did our art teacher in 6th grade have?
6.
What kind of dogs, Laura?
Bastards?
No, she had a border collie.
Yeah, no, never mind. Take away my memory card.
Thank you. Laura is now going to the articles. Do bugs like to eat you?
Yeah, that's not a superpower.
Well, I was gonna say if they didn't, that could be it. Do you get injured a lot? Like bruised? Do you bruise easily?
No, I don't bruise.
There you go. You don't bruise.
I don't bruise.
You're indestructible.
I'm indestructible. I have never broken a bone.
Good. So if we're on our superpower team, I'm gonna guess the numbers really well. You're gonna take all the blows, and Molly's gonna talk to people and gain their trust.
Yeah,
So
I'm
we can
going to be a
overpower
double
them.
agent. I'm going to defeat the supervillain by pretending to be on their side.
Okay, great.
I'm gonna try to think of a better one by next week.
By next week, okay.
Or
Guys,
I'll
tell
tweet
us
it. I
your
don't know.
low-key superpowers because they're interesting and also to help Laura. Oh, I'm really good at that Bop It game. Do you see that R2-D2?
Oh, that's a Bop It game?
It's a Bop It game. I'm really good at it. I have the high score. I reached 100.
I'm also good at games. Other types of games.
Okay, well, you know what?
I'm feverishly good at tic-tac-toe.
Good!
I'm not, that was a lie. It was just the first game.
Maybe
that
you're
I
just
thought
really
of.
good at lying. Maybe you're really good at just saying and thinking of things.
Sam would disagree. He thinks I'm a horrible liar. It really hurts my feelings.
I thought you were just gonna stop at whore.
He thinks I'm a whore and it really hurts my feelings. What else are we gonna do? Ooh, okay. We are talking about a more serious topic. The Victoria's Secret fashion shows.
Is
what-
something Molly loves.
She
count-
is a
not
Victoria's
count.
Secret model.
No, I'm trying to say the, like, what are they called? Like, the lineup. The Victoria's Secret fashion show 2018 lineup came out last week or this week or
Mhm.
earlier. One of Molly's probably Molly's favorite day of the year. Better than Christmas, better than her birthday.
It is.
We've had viewing parties multiple years in a row.
Yep.
Um,
Actually, is this the first? No. Okay. Last year was the first year we hadn't
We didn't,
been
yeah.
with her.
It's a very big deal, and so they came up with a lineup this year, and they, the Victoria's Secret PR people are quoted as saying, or somebody said, that this year is the most diverse that the models have ever been, and under some scrutiny, people have, like, shown that there's still women of color, women of a certain age, women of a certain sexual orientation and gender are underrepresented, but still to date it is the most diverse that the Victoria's Secret fashion show has been, so it sparked some conversation. And a video surfaced of some of the Victoria's Secret models talking.
I don't know if they were all Victoria's Secret models.
Well, some of them were, right?
Yeah.
Some
They were definitely all models.
Yeah, because it was a
talking.
model show.
The
But
show's
they're
called
on
Model Squad on
So-
E.
the E show Model Squad. There was what,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
8 models in a limo
Mhm.
talking, and one of them says,
Oh, 9 models. 9 models total. It's about these 9 models.
whatever. They were talking, and there was a couple women of color talking about how difficult it is for them in the industry because a lot of platforms like Victoria's Secret or different outlets will get just a couple women of color to get, like, I guess their diversity card and say, no, look, we have these women of color. We don't need all the rest of them. We can keep getting our white women, the picturesque Barbies, the blonde white women, and we can have these 2 or 3 women of color, and those are our diversity representatives or whatever. And so they were saying how hard it was because you have such a small window to get in because a lot of people don't think that you're their look or you're their type or you're their whatever. And so they were talking about diversity.
Do you want me to read the quote?
Yes.
Like before there were no plus girls. There were no like girls of color. You guys, what's going on? What are you talking about? Yeah, what are you talking about?
Diversity.
Diversity. I used to get bullied because of my skin color. I wasn't going to be able to do high fashion. A lot of black girls would have to miss Milan because they won't be able to walk in the shows because they don't want girls of that color.
I know it's super hard to relate to.
I literally went through hell and literally lived in different countries like every other month and didn't speak that language, didn't speak Paris, didn't speak Italian, and I did that for like 2 years.
I don't think you can relate to the turmoils of being different.
Do you know how hard it is to be blonde? I have to get a highlight every month. Oh my god, small violin. Highlight her.
And that is from the Art of Shade _ on Instagram.
Okay, so wait,
or
can
at
I see this?
Refinery
Can I turn
29.
your sound? Like, can I turn this? I wanna, like, go.
She said that.
So, like,
Which we'll
before
link, but
the couple women of color were talking about, like, how it used to be and it still is really hard for plus size models to get shows and to get jobs, and how it's still really difficult for women of color to get shows and to get jobs and to get picked to be in these fashion shows that are seen worldwide and are really important. And a white blonde woman chimes in and says, "Oh my God, I've had to struggle with diversity because I've gone all over the world and I've done all these things, and I really struggled when I went to a country where I didn't speak the language." And
the language Paris.
The language Paris. And the one that I'm fluent in. And she says that being a blonde is so hard because she has to dye her hair every month, and all of these things kind of leveling herself out to the struggles that these other women, because of their skin color, that they cannot dye and cannot change.
Right. Basically
and
equating.
To not choose. Equating is the word I was looking for.
Equating struggles, but still these struggles that come with her job of being a model, to racism and the boundaries that almost kept these women out of even having the opportunity to have those struggles.
Equating those struggles and really not even thinking twice about it. Like, from her facial expressions and from what she said, I think she actually thought that their struggles were equal and that she had.
I also read that was edited to sound like that. That, like,
I have no doubt.
It was, like, made out of context.
In that article, they try to defend her, but
the models of different, like, color, diversity, race, as far as I know, haven't made a comment about it.
Yeah, like
the
as
two
far as
white women, the girl who said something, and then Olivia Copel, also, they both were like, it was edited to create drama, like, I would never say something like that. And even when you listen to the video, it to me, it sounds edited, because she just, like, jumps in immediately, so it sounds like it was just cut right there.
Well, I was going to say, no matter how much it was edited, she still did say those things.
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem like she was like, oh yeah, you guys, you're right, I'm really sorry I said these things. It definitely seemed that she did not understand the conversation.
Yeah, and
her apology wasn't very well thought out. I didn't think it was very sincere.
Do you remember what she said?
I can find it.
Was it in that article?
No.
Okay.
Like, my problem is that everybody knows that reality TV is edited so much just to make the public react, and this has done its job, and now we're all talking about this show that I hadn't even heard of before.
Yeah.
And it happens in every show, but a lot of the, like, things about it is they were in the same limo. It wasn't like cut to the next day or cut to one of those scenes where they're, like, talking out of the limo, like where you're sitting and you're talking, and it was like everybody knows that that's way later that night. Like, you didn't have time to think about it. They were in the same limo, and so in that ride, however long it was, the conversation came up about diversity. Whether they talked it out for however many minutes, and she said it afterwards, she still equated struggles with this
racism.
I mean, and whether she was saying that as just, like, even if she was trying to be really nice and, like, oh, we've all struggled, and trying to, like,
relate
to them, if she honestly thinks that her struggles are near what these women have dealt with, even if she was trying to be the nicest woman ever, that's not how you go about it, and it shows your ignorance.
I feel like it's a common reaction that a lot of white people have to the term white privilege, because I feel like the instant...
We talked about
Don't give me... just to the term you hear, white privilege, and if you're not, say, like a super wealthy or super, like, well-off person, you think, well, I haven't had a lot of privilege. I've had to work for stuff. You know, my parents didn't give me, you know, the life I've built for myself, which is true, but that's not the same as your racial privilege.
Yeah,
and when people are talking about racial diversity in the Victoria's Secret fashion show, it may be hard for you to become a Victoria's Secret model, but not because you're white.
Yeah, I guess that's the thing is, like,
Yeah.
if somebody says, I had a really hard time getting into this industry, because of my skin color, and the only thing that you can think of to relate to them is that you went abroad to a country where you didn't learn the language and you couldn't speak the language.
And you have to dye your hair often.
And you have to dye your hair. Those two don't equal each other. And, like, look at the Victoria's Secret fashion show. Molly, how many women are in the Victoria's Secret fashion show?
I think like 80 something.
80?
Really?
80 something?
I think like
was
60
gonna
to 80.
say like
15, yeah.
80 people. Blah. Okay.
I thought it was like the same.
I found the apology.
I thought it was the same 10 over and over again.
I saw the breakdown of the
like the races, like
the
percentage-wise?
the demographics. So it was like
Okay.
this many African American women, this many white women, this many Asian women, this many, this whatever. But it also had like this many women over the age of 35 and this many transgender women, and like a lot of them had zeros behind them.
I was gonna say, was the number was transgender more than 0?
No. The gap between white women and every other ethnicity. I cannot talk. Ethnicity was staggering. And so looking at somebody and saying, you had, like, let's just make it 10, you had a 70% chance to get in this if you were good enough, and if you were whatever enough. As a white woman, you had 70% chance of getting in this. A black woman had 1% chance, or 10%. An Asian woman had 10%, and an Indian woman had 10%.
Right.
You can't equate your struggles, and you can't equate your privilege.
Right.
Like, just by numbers, and that's how it's laid out. Even in their most diverse show to date, you still have underrepresentation of every other ethnicity.
Right.
And ages, and transgender women, and blah, 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 blah.
Okay, right. I found the apology.
Okay, go for it.
I want to apologize for what I said. It goes without saying that the comments in the show are incredibly insensitive. The majority of the conversation was edited, and if a peer of mine wanted to discuss such a serious subject, I would never follow it with a joke. I have an immense amount of respect for my peers, and I know the struggle of diversity and inclusion in my business as well as in so many others is not one to take lightly. I made a comment in jest to infuse levity, and I feel terrible that I have hurt others. I'm even more disappointed that my comments would lead anyone to believe that I have a prejudicial bias. I respect, honor, and admire all of those breaking barriers and working to forge a new and inclusive community both in and outside of the modeling industry. I hope that I can continue to learn from others, and I am always trying to be a better version of myself.
Here's the thing with that. At one point she says, I would never have joked about something so serious. And then, like, 3 sentences later, she said, I said something in jest to create levity of the situation. So you did.
So it's like, I tried to make a joke, but I would never joke about something serious. But it's like...
And then she says, I understand. But it didn't sound like a joke at the time. Do you understand? And if you knew... Especially in this day and age, you're literally being filmed. I'm sorry. You can't say, like, you can't say things like that. You just don't get to anymore. You know you're being filmed. Not that you got to in the past, but it was less obvious and less public in the past. Nowadays, it's very obvious. It's in your face. People watched it, and so many hundreds of people have seen that clip now. And I don't care if her apology was genuine, or if it was just a PR stunt, or if she meant to say it, or if it was meant as a joke. Some jokes aren't funny. And whether she meant to say it as a joke, or whether she didn't mean to say it as a joke, because that apology does not really define whether she thought it was a joke or not. It was in ill taste, and
Yeah.
I honestly think it was just a PR stunt.
You think her apology was a PR stunt?
Yeah, but I also think most apologies are.
Yeah.
And
Definitely.
Like all those YouTubers who like a couple weeks ago, got in trouble because like old tweets of theirs surfaced where they were using like the N-word or saying really derogatory things about the African American community. Everyone was blasting one of them because she posted a video the next day and it had nothing to do with the problem. And then everybody was blasting her because she didn't apologize. And then the next day she apologized and her apology was too short and it was too
Oh yeah, I remember hearing about
staged,
that.
and it was too everything. It's like so she did post a video the day after that was nothing to do with her problem. So if nobody had cared and she had just ignored it and everybody had just ignored it, would she have ever posted an apology video? Probably not.
Right.
And then now everybody's saying that her apology was faked, which it really didn't look genuine. She never apologized about the actual thing. She apologized that she upset people and said that like in the last 6 years I've grown and I've matured and I've whatever. How easy is it to just go through your Twitter and look up certain words and certain phrases and delete those tweets? Really? So it's just like that type of thing that I don't think there's many genuine apologies anymore. Because if you were genuinely upset about something or you notice something happening, especially if you're a public figure, make sure that your social media is clean and make sure you're not being filmed. If you're going to continue doing these things and habitually saying derogatory things about anyone, that if it got out, you would regret and you would have to do like damage control. Don't say them or make damn sure you're not being filmed and it's not public knowledge.
Yeah.
So don't be a terrible person, but if you're gonna do it very secretly.
Well, I'm not naive enough to think that horrible people don't exist.
Right.
And that people say awful things that they would definitely regret. But the fact that you said it and you were completely behind it and you didn't regret it enough to go look for it and to get it out of the internet proves that you don't care, that you're not upset that it happened, you're upset that you got caught.
Yeah. What about this model though?
I think she's upset that she got caught. I think she's upset that her joke didn't go over. If it was an innocent joke, it wasn't innocent. It wasn't taken as a joke. And there's people who say awful things sexually in the workplace that are jokes that men are now getting, and women too, are getting fired over.
Yeah.
It's a bigger place, time and place. Some jokes aren't funny to some people. And if you make the wrong people mad, you're going to suffer.
Yeah. I think hers was more ignorance than ill intent, though.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
Not that that's much better.
I do think it's everybody's responsibility to educate themselves.
Right, exactly.
Like
even in the moment, like, how hard is it to just... I mean, I guess this is where you could say, maybe they cut out where she was listening really well, but, like... How hard is it to when you're hearing some non-white people talk about how hard it is to be non-white?
Listen,
how's
take
it
in?
Right? How's
why
it
would
just
like that's my thing?
Yeah,
like even if it was edited, why would she joke about that? Like
right?
Why
exactly.
did she find herself needing to say something?
Exactly.
What prompted her to have a response?
Right.
God, when I read that article, I was like, oh boy, what dumb thing did she say? Like,
do you know her? Like, do you know of her?
Yeah, like I've seen her in Victoria's Secret fashion shows before.
Is she an angel? Has she earned her wings?
I don't think so.
She won't now.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what Victoria's Secret's gonna do. Like if they're gonna keep her in the show or not, because I think she was gonna walk in the show. I'm not sure.
Is that something like how big of a deal would it be for them to cut one of the girls and like replace her?
I mean, they probably. I mean, I think they would cut her if it was enough PR damage. I know Victoria's Secret is not one for standing, doing political stances.
Yeah.
Is this political though, or is this moral?
I think it could turn. If it became a big enough deal, it could become a political stance.
I think that's another problem I have with a lot of media. Like, portrayals and like crisis control and PR is like multiple times when you were just talking, you said if this becomes a big enough deal, who gets to decide that? And
The
like
public, when people
no, like what's it called? Hypothetical question? Rhetorical question.
Okay.
Rhetorical question. Like who gets to decide? Like your African American angels, your African American models probably hated what that girl's like. I'm speaking for them, but like,
yeah. Well, they would need more to cause a stink.
No, I'm just saying we're probably offended by it, and you're now ostracizing a portion of your models by letting this woman walk. And sure, she made an apology, but was her apology to Victoria's Secret for their for their benefit? Like, was she apologizing to keep her stance in the public eye? Was she actually apologizing to the girl that she offended? Was she apologizing to all of the people in the media or on social media that she offended? Who is she apologizing to, and for what reason? Because why does Victoria's Secret get to decide that, oh, that apology is good enough, we've forgiven you, that other girl can get over it?
Well, while we're talking about apologies, I also wanted to say earlier that I feel like if it was a super genuine one, like if she had really been like listening and learning in the moment, the other girls would have come out and said something by now. Like, not to say that they won't, but like...
Well, devil's advocate, they could be using this to leverage their own careers. Like, true. Not that crazy has happened before.
Yeah.
Like, they have gotten a lot of attention off of this just for being the other girls in the limo.
Yeah.
Not saying that that's what's happening.
Yeah.
At all. But if we're gonna completely shit on this one girl...
Stick to the others.
Well, no. I mean, I'm not saying let's completely shit on them, but just to...
Okay, yeah, she'll be walking in the show this year. I was just checking.
This happened about a week ago, so that probably won't change.
Well, is the diversity in the modeling world, like, I know, like, we're aware of it, but, like, is the world aware of how big of a deal it is?
Yes. I think so.
Because if the world is aware of how big of a deal diversity is in modeling, then it would be smart of Victoria's Secret to take her out of the show. But if...
That's why I was asking if it would be a big deal, because
I haven't seen this circulating very much. Like, I saw the BuzzFeed article, and I haven't seen very many people talking about it.
I didn't either, but I wouldn't say that's not because of people not being aware of the issue. Maybe they're just not aware of this one instance, because I was thinking earlier about how this reminds me of how in fashion there's a lot of talk about diversity. Like, these women will be modeling like underwear and stuff. I've seen a lot of talk about like nude clothing, like either nude, like quote unquote nude ballet
like
slippers.
The word nude,
right?
Is this
ballet slippers and like Spanx and like stuff like that, where nude is all like white colored essentially, and they're just now kind of moving into adding more like colors for like dark skinned African American people, or like darker than, you know, white.
Yeah, that's something that I never noticed until I watched something, and a black woman said, we don't use the word nude.
Right.
Because that doesn't apply to us.
Nude means
because
pink.
When I say nude,
yeah.
If I say I'm gonna go get a nude bralette, I'm meaning my skin tone.
Yeah.
Because that word applies to my people, the people of my color.
Yeah.
But black women and Indian women and Asian women do not get to say nude and have a conversation with a white person, because their nude and our nude are not the same. Right. But the fashion industry has created this word that encompasses just one race.
But I feel like a lot of people are talking about that more, and then also in terms of like makeup and stuff. So I feel like modeling crosses over into that.
I think it definitely does.
So I feel like if enough people heard about this, it could have been something bigger. And I don't know why it didn't really. I mean, BuzzFeed and Refinery 29 are two pretty.
I honestly think
deals.
That this happens every day in every industry, and that you have women of every race getting the shit end of the stick.
Yeah.
And that, like Molly was saying earlier, that there is some baseline of it has to hit this many people mad about it.
Yeah.
To get any action.
Right.
And this didn't.
Yeah.
And that's the saddest thing.
Yeah.
Because, like,
you didn't go viral, so your problem didn't get fixed.
If Victoria's Secret had chosen to take a stand that day and say, I mean, other companies have done it. This isn't crazy to ask or to suggest or to look for. Like, if Victoria's Secret had been one of those companies that the day they heard about it, they investigated, they came to whatever conclusion they came to, and they released a statement that says, due to actions that we do not agree with, we will no longer support whatever her name is walking in our show. They could have ended it nicely and said, we hope she has a nice career, but we don't want to support her and her mindset or her actions or her
but again
whatever.
If it truly was edited out of context, Victoria's Secret might know that, and they might have seen the actual like footage of how it was said, in what context it was said. And
that's
so
what
that
I say is they may have done an investigation that we never heard about. But as a consumer who's knowledgeable of business practices and just personal opinion how good businesses work, it would have made more like we're now discussing this and making all these assumptions and saying all of these awful things about this person. If there had been an investigation and she had been proven completely innocent and it was just a joke and she didn't mean anything by it and it was edited, I would much rather, if it had happened to me, say release the tapes, release everything, show the investigation.
Well,
so it takes a tweet.
To be fair, she could probably tweet about that, but
she hasn't.
I'm sure the studio would have control over all the tapes and stuff, and I'm sure they wouldn't have to release anything.
No, but if it was Victoria's Secret, they could release a statement. If it was her, she could release a better statement than just an apology. She's not really fighting it, if that's her only...
Is it possible this just wasn't a big show?
Yeah.
I just looked it up real quick. It was on E! It looked like it had about 8 episodes that all came out like...
It was this year, though?
Like, it started like the 8th, and it came out the 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, like, etc. until they finished. Yeah, it was like last week when this aired, but, like, the show's already over now. It's a limited docu-series.
I mean, I've never heard of it.
I want to watch it.
On E!
But I have no, like, arguments that it was completely edited.
Yeah.
But I don't think it was faked.
Right.
And I guess that's where you have to draw the line, is like...
No, I think this was a genuine...
Was it staged, though?
I doubt that was staged.
Yeah.
That's an interesting drama stage, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Producers are some
I'm about to say,
hard-working people, though.
Could be a new tactic, but...
Pick up on the social justice drama.
Well, we talked about how I've now gotten completely infatuated with the Bachelor series, and
Have we talked about that on here?
Well, now we have.
Okay.
I completely, wholeheartedly believe that half of the reason that show is still relevant is because the producers instigate everything and force connections and force, like, are actively telling people to do certain things. With this last iteration, it was like multiple couples, and I firmly believe that half of the things that happened only happened because a producer said, we will give you this much money if you will go do this thing.
I feel like that's one thing with, like, start a fight with this guy in a hot tub to pretend you don't know anything about diversity and racial issues.
And you put a dollar on it, though?
Well, you're saying,
and
like,
then have
script
all of
it?
Well, yeah, and then have y'all are gonna talk about this topic, and this topic. You're gonna give examples from this. It could have gone in any order.
Yeah.
They could have been talking about 2 totally different things, and they could have edited it together.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm just saying in the realm of reality TV, nothing is real.
We should watch Unreal, by the way. Have you watched it?
That's the one.
Anyway, I don't know. That's too cynical for me.
I don't want to talk shit on this girl and make all these assumptions, and also have people believe that I believe that reality TV is real, is all the time real, and that what you're seeing is exactly how it happened. Blah blah blah. I find it very suspicious that she hasn't argued anything, so it makes me believe that it is more. It makes me believe that it's more real that this girl has just released one apology letter and has dropped it. Because the world dropped it. Because other times people are fighting and showing and like pointing to evidence of like, no, this didn't happen like this. Look at this, and oh, look, we're friends. To get like me and her, like we're friends. She doesn't care.
My official statement is that based on the one article I've read and the one Instagram video I watched, I think this girl said some ignorant stuff on television. And a few people got mad, so she kind of apologized. And it wasn't a big deal, so that was that. However, it is a big deal. And so that's why we talked about it. Whether or not it's legit, I think we can all agree that this idea that diversity doesn't matter or that your personal struggles are equal to societal struggles that are forced upon you, those aren't the same thing. And it's not just with race, of course, but this
episode is.
Yes, that is just what this particular moment was. Because you could also have a lot of, like, plus-sized white models say, like, well, I'm white, but I still can't model, but that's a different
Well, the women of color
reason.
brought that up.
Yeah,
they even
that's true,
said
yeah.
How
they did, yeah, they started talking about diversity in general. But then it went to race.
Because of a white woman.
Gotta watch them white women. Molly, what do you think, since you're our
local
fashion expert or
expert.
model?
I thought it was incredibly stupid of her. And it was very shocking to see, because like I haven't, like, talking about like diversity in general, I've seen a lot of, you know, like white man privilege where they do that, but I haven't seen very many white women trying to tackle diversity and privilege like she tried.
Yeah.
Like in a stupid way. Like,
you mean be bad?
Yeah, be bad. Like, say like I struggle too. Like I've yet to see a white woman do that. That was one of the first
instances that you saw.
Huh?
That was one of like the first instances that you've seen that type of failure.
Bad cake.
Yeah.
Shooting a miss. Maybe it started the conversation. Maybe it sparked the conversation. Because that is the thing that, like, I know that in the industry, and like we all know that in the industry is not very diverse, and that there's problems, and that there's people trying to get representation every day. But Molly obviously follows this industry more than I do, and more than you do, and so her not even seeing much of it, or this being one of the first instances, like, I thought this was years ago. When I saw the video, I thought that this was like years ago, because I could not imagine somebody in this day and age saying.
That's why I don't think
that
it's that big of a deal in people's eyes. Like, that's why I think it's not being talked about as much, because people aren't aware of how big of an issue diversity is. Because I feel like a lot of people don't talk about it, especially models, because they know if they talk too much about it, they'll get kicked out of the fashion show. Like, they need to be grateful and like, oh, I'm so lucky I got to walk in this fashion show. But they can't, because due to their skin color, they can't say that, because it it could ruin other fashion shows.
They can't be the one to rock the boat
I can
because,
Exactly.
like you said earlier, they only had like the 10% chance to get in, so they don't want to be.
And I can see that because I follow like activists of different platforms on Twitter, and I see them tweet about the makeup industry, and they'll tweet about different makeup brands who now have like multiple shades for women of color,
kind of like the nude or what goes with your skin tone.
And like there's makeup shades to do this, and there's clothing lines that are advertised just to plus size women, and there's all of these great things, and I see them talking about as activists and as whatever they do, the fashion industry, and how proud they are when they see like an Old Navy ad with multiple women of color, or this, that, or the other, like commercial model with women of color or transgender women or whatever, and you see that type of, or I see that type of talk of diversity, but I don't follow the lives of actual models and actual people, so I'm just seeing outsiders talk about a world that they can't change. And I understand that models, especially models of color, wouldn't want to in a spot where they worked so hard to get to a place that there's 40 other women or more behind them who are like, I'll come in and shut my mouth and I won't talk about anything, just let me walk. And you're going to be the one that goes up to a CEO or a producer, and says, you know, you need more of people who look like me. Like,
well,
okay,
I think
there's the door.
I do think diversity in the fashion industry is a very new thing, because I'll see ads for like clothing brands, whatever, and I'm like, oh, that's a really diverse poster.
It's very obvious.
And that shouldn't be my first thought. Like, that should be like a natural thing to look at. I shouldn't be like, wow, they're really trying to be diverse with this campaign. Like, good for them.
We got so used to seeing, like, look at advertisements from like the 80s. Like, or even the early 2000s, honestly. Like, there's a show called The Pitch, and all it is they're pitching advertisements to different retailers, and it's a game show-ish type of thing, and the people they use and the people represented in that show are mostly white and mostly men and mostly this and that, and it wasn't prominent. You didn't have the push. I feel like there's a cultural, societal push now to be more diverse, and I also am very skeptical as somebody in the advertising industry and in the marketing industry that most businesses don't do things out of the goodness of their heart. They do things because
for money,
well, for money and for representation. Like, if you have Coke, who's done the Share a Coke and redid their hippie campaign that they did in the 70s, and you had people of every race and color, you had people of every age group, you had people of every whatever, and it was all these women or all these people around the world singing and dancing and frolicking, and it was great, and it really brought you together, and it was great. And then you have Pepsi, who does that ad with Kylie Jenner and the police brutality thing, and one of those went over really well and one of those didn't. Coke didn't do that ad, and they may have, but their number one reason was not because they actually care about it. Pepsi didn't do it because they actually cared about it. They both did it because their marketing campaign said, there's this new push for diversity. And for people of all races, sizes, and expressions. Pepsi did the same thing. One of them did it well and one of them didn't do it well. You're not doing it. You know? And I don't think the modeling industry is any different. But knowing that we have forever in our whole lives seen ads of people who look like us, and some people haven't, and it's just now being talked about, is a big deal.
I agree.
Bailey also agrees.
Bailey did not have a single thing to add.
Good.
Bailey thought you might.
I didn't do it.
Want to take us out?
I don't know if you want to say anything else.
No, I didn't have anything to add.
So this has been a very interesting.
I was thinking interesting too.
Conversation.
Yes.
We found out some superpowers.
Some,
not all. I'll think about it. I might tweet it. And we talked about diversity in the modeling industry and how that's going. We'd love to hear your thoughts on your Loki superpower or your thoughts on this article. If you want to go find it, it's a Refinery 29 article.
Oh, we'll have it linked in the description.
And we'll have it linked in the description for you to peruse. So,
yeah, especially if you're not a white girl like us.
yes.
Laura just gave 2 thumbs up. If you're wondering what that pause was.
There's a white girl with 2 thumbs. It's me. And I guess with that, make sure to check us out on Twitter at our3cents with the number 3. If you'd like to email us, our email is our3cents@gmail with the word
Pod.
3.
Pod.
Our3centspod@gmail.com.
Did you say pod in our Twitter? Because that's in our Twitter.
Fuck. Our Twitter is our3centspod with the letter. God fucking damn it.
I thought you said you were good at talking.
That was sarcastic.
That was all the sarcasm in the world.
At our 3 cents pod with the number.
At our3centspod
Nope.
with the number.
Yes.
On Twitter.
Yes. Our 3 cents pod with the word.
Our3centspod with the word at
gmail.com.
gmail.com for an email address to send us emails about how awful I am at speaking. Thank you to Kevin MacLeod for our intro music. And I guess with that, goodbye.
What's your name?
Oh, I'm Laura.
I'm Molly.
Did you just let
I'm
me
Bailey.
leave already? I'm fucking hot.
Fine, leave. Get out.
I'm so hot.
Get out of my home. Get out of my home.
Bye.